Relay time here at the Foro Italico in Rome, Italy. We're live for the finals of the men's 800-meter freestyle relay. The favorites are the Americans, the defending world champions, also the defending Olympic champions. Michael Phelps, a part of those championship teams. And Phelps will lead it off as the Americans are in lane for the biggest threat to them winning gold here, Rowdy. Certainly Russia, which is down there in lane 7. Nikita Lobintsev will lead it off against Phelps. Also worth noting that up there in lane 6, a couple below the United States, is the German team being led off by Paul Biedermann, who won a couple of world titles here and took down Phelps with a world record time in that 200 free.
Bit of a rematch here between Phelps and Biedermann. Phelps, you see right there in that black cap in the middle of the pool. Biedermann with that white cap right there in lane 6, flipping first. Certainly the Americans on paper come in as the favorites. If you take their best times flat start, the Americans are about a second and a half better than the Russians. You throw that out the window with relay starts, exchanges.
And there's Paul Biedermann of Germany in lane 6, leading the way for the German team. And with 2 lengths left, he's having a nice split here.
Yeah, and one tough thing for Phelps is he's just got out of the 100 fly, so it's going to take him a while to feel his stroke, to feel this freestyle versus the butterfly. You can see him right there. He is way behind at this point.
Phelps was running 3rd at the halfway mark of this first of 4 legs. And the Russians were in 2nd with Lobintsev just behind.
The big thing is not the Germans, Dan. It's not so much Biedermann right there with a white cap. It's the Russians that he wants to be able to beat, because of the Russians in the end are going to be much better than the Germans. And now he's starting to do it.
So Biedermann leading the way here in lane 6, getting ready for the United States. To take over for Phelps is Ricky Behrens, Olympic gold medalist, on the relay.
144 on Phelps, 44.4. He was actually much slower. He was 143.2 in the individual 200. Not the best leadoff leg.
Mikhail Polishuk of Russia is in the water in lane 7. But again, Germany still leading the way in lane 6 as Felix Wolf is trying to hang on to the lead that Biedermann gave him. Behrens making up some ground up there in lane 4.
Well, Behrens led off this morning's prelim relay in 44.9, so he was really, really good this morning, and he's starting to go by the Germans. I'm not worried about the Germans for the United States. It's the Russians right there. They're the ones that most likely will have the 2nd best relay. And if they put together 4 solid splits, then the Americans could be in trouble, because I had Michael Phelps going 143.5, and I was conservative on Phelps, and he ended up going about a second slower.
So Ricky Behrens has taken over the lead for the United States. University of Texas team captain. And again, just a couple of lanes below him is Felix Wolf of Germany. But as you said, Rowdy, you don't feel like the Germans have the firepower to stay with either the United States or Russia.
No, and Ricky Behrens is doing a great job. Oh, he's having a good swim. Now, it's so important pain sets in right here. He's got to focus on the touch. Walters is trying to get his rhythm as he comes in. Don't breathe, be good on the finish.
Dave Walters into the pool for the United States. Left off the 400 free relay, which was a little bit surprising to some, but here he is in the finals of the 800 free.
Yeah, nice swim for Behrens, 144.2, and you know, David Walters deserves to be on this relay. He finished 2nd to Phelps. Some people questioned about whether he should be on. Peter van der Kay, whose mainstay on this relay, was left off. Walters was put on, but he deserves it. His best time is 144.9. He doesn't need to be much better than that, Dan. Really, I mean, the Americans are in control now. He's just got to make sure he puts the blinders on. Swim his own race here, have composure.
The world record set by the Americans on their way to sweeping the relays in Beijing. Walters having a good race. The Americans way out ahead of the Germans and the Russians, but Russia beginning to creep up a little bit here.
Well, the Americans need a victory here after that disappointment in the 200 breaststrokes for both the women and men. It'd be a nice way to end for the United States to get in here and get a victory. Walters is starting to tighten up a little bit. You can see that loping stroke. He just doesn't look quite as crisp, but I think he's built such a huge lead. I don't think there's, well, goodness knows in this meet. I shouldn't say that.
Danila is atop of Russia
Walters
in lane
is
7.
really dying.
And Walters beginning to lose some ground on that world record line and also on Russia.
He is really hurting. Not only is the world record line going right by him, but you can see the Russians starting to inch up on him.
All right, Ryan Lochte into the pool for the United States, trying to hang on to the lead. Alexander Sukhorokov of Russia, the anchor man for the Russians, trying to catch him.
Well, Lochte has about a second on him. He has about a second. His best time, if you're talking flat start, is 1:45.6.
Lochte, yep, he's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, Rowdy, in this relay.
Once again, he's coming off a swim tonight as well, Dan. He had that 200 backstroke final, so how much is it going to take away from him? He certainly took the edge off of Phelps.
How many times have we seen Phelps cheering on his teammates after leading off a leg, gutting it out nervously, hoping that Lochte's going to hang on here. Sukhorokov of Russia is beginning to gain some ground with 100 meters left.
I just have a feeling, though, Ryan Lochte's okay, though, Dan. He's keeping an eye on the field. He's managing this race well. Now, he needs to make sure where he's at coming off this last wall. He will breathe to his right, so he will be able to see Sukhorokov.
Russians in lane 7. Americans in lane 4. 3 above. Lochte turns for home. American record, or the world record, 6:58.56. The Americans trying to hold off the Russians here and win their second gold in the relays here in hopes of sweeping them at these world championships.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Lochte's got it.
Lochte cruising into the wall here, just behind that world record line by 1/100th of a second. Oh, no, he got in it. He got under it by 100th to set a new world record and win gold for the Americans. Russia gets the silver.
1:44.5 on the end for Ryan Lochte. He just, when he flipped at the 100, he kind of took that long loping breath, and I just felt like he really was managing that race really well. And, you know, he's always been known to have a great last 50. Behrens had a huge turn at the 150 mark. He put out a great split. In fact, his split was faster than anybody else. Watch this turn here. Ricky Behrens, part of that gold medal relay last summer, and the ability to be able to share with it again with a world record. Exchanges. See, the rhythm you have to have coming into the wall is so important. When Walters comes in, even though he was fading at the end, he was able to keep his head down and had a good touch at the end. That helps Lochte have a great start, and then Lochte at the very end had it.
The dicey relay for the Americans came earlier in these championships. They were the favorites in this one. They took the gold over Russia and France in the 400 free relay, and the United States with its third straight 800 freestyle relay title as Michael Phelps wins his 20th world championship title alone. 6:58.55, a new world record by 1/100th of a second. Still more to come as the Americans continue to celebrate another gold medal in the relays here in Rome, Italy.